Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Peace Talk. This is the Peace Dealer, and just out of a moment of silence, or just for a moment, I'm just kind of somber because it's definitely been a while since we've done a Peace Talk. I consider this like coming back out of a hiatus. So um given the special nature of this peace talk too, first of all, I'm very grateful for our guests that we have with us, and I'm grateful for y'all live. I think it's just kind of good to have this like back. uh don't mind my don't mind my don't mind me this whole talk. I feel like I'm in 16 dimensions right now. So I'm slowly gonna like piece myself back together. But I'm definitely very somber. Uh we're at 154. We're gonna be at 200 soon. And yeah, other than that, let's welcome our guest, Tessa, aka Dreaming with Tessa. Uh how are you doing? Thank you very much.
I'm fabulous. I'm so thankful that you even mentioned me and wanted me to have me on. I'm so happy.
And where are you based in?
Texas, San Antonio,
Oh, I didn't know you were in Texas. So you're a CST or MST?
CST.
Okay, Central Standard. I used to live in El Paso. I'm actually moved here from El Paso, which is like the other end of Texas. But
Like 8 hours away.
I've always heard San Antonio is like El Paso, but with a basketball team or like a football team.
Oh, really? I love San Antonio. There's so much here. I was first stationed here when I was 19, when I was in the Army, and I liked it. Then I moved to Hawaii and came back, and it grew on me.
So how many years have you been there?
I've been here since I've been here for 18 now. I was here for 1 year, and then I moved to Hawaii, and I came back in 2004.
Wow. So you've been out there.
Yeah.
So would you say I know the small time I've been in El Paso, it's grown a bit from a small town to definitely a lot, a lot that now that has its own baseball team. But I can only imagine San Antonio must have grown, but just on a much bigger level too.
Huge. When I mentioned here, it looks nothing like now. Like the whole southeast side blew up, the north side blew up, all the places around it is huge. And but there's
Wow,
so much to do here. Like if you're a family or if you're single, there's a lot to do here.
that's awesome. That's really all I need to. Definitely need to hit that up then. I mean, and Texas is just so huge in and of itself. Um, one day we had to drive to Austin, like at the end of the year,
Hmm.
and we drove like 9 hours straight to Austin. And then we got a call because there's a show that was happening back in El Paso, and we had to immediately drive all the way back, and
Oh
then
my
drive
God.
and then drive all the way back to Austin again. So like, Texas is just
Shotgun
ridiculously big.
driving.
Right? Oh yeah, just yeah. Do you feel Texas will ever be its own country or state or secede? I heard they were talking about that.
I don't know. I know I've seen like the maps of like how the water will rise and stuff and how it'll divide our country. I don't know. I try not to pay attention to all that. There's so much going on. I want to feel the feels and see the seas, see the sights. I don't like getting into that.
No, I feel you. And yeah, if anything, I guess Texas would be pretty safe. Um, which is
I guess
pretty.
I guess the law for if you there's more laws on dildos than there are guns, is what they say, right? On the books here.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I love that.
It's good
So,
to protect yourself.
oh yeah, absolutely. And It's interest. Wait. Okay. No, I'm very interested too, given we are coming into, the end of this ridiculous cycle. And I love that you kind of lightly mentioned, the potential for any kind of cataclysmic event. Because coming into, partially the subject of what we're going to talk about, I could imagine if maybe, and I don't make this a loaded question, but I can imagine a lot of people are having dreams of this in their own way. And maybe they may or may not be able to know why they're having these dreams or recurring dreams. And it just dawned on me. I'm so glad I'm talking to you about this because yeah, this is going to be really exciting. Uh, yeah.
I'm excited because there are so many people who are lonely out there because they're having dreams of people that are dying and before they happen, and they're scared like I was. Like, the reason why I do this is because, like, I dreamed that there was a little boy 5 houses down from me. He was 5 years old. I dreamed that he was gonna die. The whole thing unfolded in my dreams, and so I thought I was extremely religious at the time, right? I'm Sagittarius sun, so I was extremely religious. And I went to my preacher man and I said, "Oh my God, I think the world's about to end." And he was like, "No, the people who get dreams, it's from the devil. That happened in the Old Testament, not the New Testament." And so it just hurt so bad because I knew something was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be a literal dream. And in real life, I watched the ambulance come. I watched the fire truck. I watched them leap off. The little boy was murdered 5 houses down from me. I dreamed that at the exact moment that my mom was having a stroke, like I dreamed that I was having a stroke, and then I saw my mama in the mirror. And I woke up thinking that I had a stroke. So I reached with my other arm to get my phone to call my friend to call 911. And I got a call at that moment, and it was my stepsister telling me my mom had just had a stroke. And I was like, "It's her right side, right?" So I went through all of these. Like, my daughter had a dream. She had a really good friend that she had only met for spring break, right? And this was 2 years before, and then she had a dream about her. And she saw her, and they talked about like anime real fast. And then she turned and she goes, "Mom, I think she's super sad." She goes, "Can you please set up a play date?" I go, "Yeah." But in my head, and this is the driving force of why I do what I do. I don't get paid for it. This is not my profession. I'm a pediatric nurse, right?
You're a
But
what? A
like,
pediatric nurse?
mhm. And so
My mother's actually a pediatrician.
I saw that on there in one of your episodes. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing that you work with children too. I think that's literally perfect.
It's funny because I found so much about my chart. Like, it's in my chart that I love children and that I want to help kids. Like, it's so funny. And watching your shows, and actually later on I want to jump, but I really want to ask you about the fire, water, and the earth grounding, because I really want to tie that into dreaming and into the masculine and the feminine and see what your perspective is, because it's just what I'm thinking. And because you are, like, in my head, an authority on astrology, because you really are pretty, I want to
Thank
see
you.
what you think about with that mission. But anyways, my daughter had that dream, and then in my head I thought, okay, I'm not going to, be able to find her friend. And what if she doesn't even remember my daughter? So I didn't do anything about it. And then my daughter had the dream again, reoccurring dream. She had it, and she said, "Mom," and she woke up crying. And she said, "Please." And so I found the person, and I was going to contact her, and I got a call. And she had she had killed herself. And it devastated me because I looked at dreams the way everyone else looked at dreams. In all the books will tell you that it is, every character in your dream is a representation of you. That's not true. That's absolutely not true, because I'm dreaming of things and then I'm creating things in my dreams and they're happening and breaking in the spirit, like those kind of things. And so I thought, okay, well, it's just me that's having the future dreams, because no one else seemed to be bothered or have those. But then when that happened with my daughter at that moment, And like I said, I was still very religious at the time. My friend and I were on the phone, and she broke the news to me that earlier that morning she had taken her life. She it sucked. She was 12 years old. Okay. And so she and I started praying, and we're praying, and we're praying in the spirit, and we're begging, we're like, God, if you are the author and finisher of life, we ask for your forgiveness. We ask that you surround her with life. We started praying and praying and praying. And then all of a sudden we heard this bell, and it was loud, this huge, huge, huge bell sound. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? You know? And from that point on, I dedicated like all my time that I wasn't in college and I wasn't in school and I wasn't working to figuring out what's the difference and what's the key that tells me that it's a future dream versus a past dream, because I've had dreams of things that happened in the past. Look them up and it happened. What is the correlation between that, and trying to figure out, because it bothers me because people say I can figure out a dream 100% accuracy. I'm a master of dreams, and they're getting one little snippet like a snake or a bed or a car or something,
Mm-mm.
breaking it down.
I'm
And
sorry, I have too much chills, and I have to stop you right here.
so
I did everything I could to not interrupt you as a Gemini and a Mars and Aries. So I think I did my best. First of all, you said that your sun was in Sagittarius. So I hate to be that guy. If I knew you were Sagittarius, I would have just I wouldn't have done the interview. I would have kind of like made up an excuse and been like, we can't do this because you've already said some of the most magical real life experiences that, you know, if one were looking from the outside looking in, would almost seem like you were making it up. And I'm going to ask you a question, but first of all, I would also like to say that is a really huge shame that you were indoctrinated and brainwashed by that, to say that, to be told that dreams are only in the Old Testament, because even in the book of Galatians, the New Testament has definitely designated dreams as a gift of the Spirit. So I really appreciate you really sharing these important experiences, because this leads me to my main question. Okay. And this is why when you were talking and saying what you were saying, I was looking into the camera and I was shaking my head. I am willing. I have not. So Tessa can attest that I do not know her birthday. I have not asked her birthday, but I'm willing to bet that you have your Neptune in Sagittarius. Were you born in like the 70s?
I do. And actually you read for me. I
Oh,
did
I
a,
did read your chart.
yeah. And
Okay.
I'm a Cancer rising and a Taurus moon. And then my Cap is in, I mean, my Venus is in Cap. And then well, a lot. I have a ton in Virgo.
You have Saturn in Virgo?
Yes.
Oh my God. See, like I
I,
am so sorry. I I I I should have really kept that. I shouldn't even really be doing this peace talk. Cause like you really are. I hate to really be like sarcastic like this, but I'm kind of not being sarcastic because I hate to even say it like this, but I have a strong belief that uh intelligence agencies are looking for people like you. I hate to be that like conspiracy guy, but you're speaking. I wanted to really highlight this because what you see here, ladies and gentlemen, is not only this amazing expression of Neptune Sagittarius. I really do appreciate you sharing this reality, you know, uh, of being able to dream real experiences. And I feel like you're teaching us how to not only accept that, but make real sense of it. I even hate to interrupt in this fashion, but I feel like I really had to frame it like this because a lot of what you're casually just saying is are things that it's really hard for people to put into words. I feel like every single one of us have been gaslighted into feeling like you said before, like this is just the aspect of our subconscious. So I know I was being all facetious, but thank you so much for existing, because a lot of what you're saying, like, I've always felt was just like a fantasy. Like, I've always kind of, I've seen in the chart and I've researched, but I've always felt that maybe I was exaggerating, or maybe, you know, it's that on paper. But to see that you experience this and even more, um, I definitely have more questions for you moving forward. But
So I have receipts for everything. I have proof, and I think my good friend Julie might be on here. I tell her after every dream, like, oh my gosh, and then I have receipts for everything that I'm saying with my kids, everything.
that's
Oh,
amazing.
thank you so much.
Oh, another 19. Yeah, see, and that's, I truly feel all you Sagittarians are amazing. And just the way you kind of show that, because you know, Sagittarius is the ascended spirit. So I feel like, you know, your harnessing of this is going to be, you know, at that alien level, or at that proficient level to where you're aware of it. So I'm really looking forward to whatever more you have to say on this. Thank you for providing again. I think you said your rising was in Cancer and then your moon is in Taurus. So that means Uranus is on your moon.
First, yeah.
And Elhim said, dream about us winning the lotto. And I love that too,
I,
because Sagittarius is the creator, and you said you can create in your dreams, which is just like mind blowing. So, you know,
I actually created. My friend Julie might be in here. We created you at so. Before I say that, I want to say that I never believe that it's okay to force yourself or force your beliefs or force your desire on anyone else. That's rape. I don't care if it's going in the spirit and going to someone's place, and trying to create a dream. I don't do that. When I do create, I make sure that it's in with the alignment of my highest good and harms no one. So I actually sent you the picture of the text message. She and I can't see it.
she sent me receipts. She sent me receipts.
Um,
Yep.
she she said yes, and I said okay. So I went to work and I created a lucid dream. Like, you can heal PTSD in your dreams. She got receipts. I do. I promise I have receipts. But what was I going to say? So I wanted to talk about the masculine and the feminine energy, and then ask you real quick if that's okay about the fire signs and earth signs and stuff. If that's okay.
Please go ahead. Please
Okay.
go ahead.
So this is the way I feel it. I feel that, the man is built to give. Like, he has a tallywhacker, right? And he gives semen, but he also can give messages. That's why I feel like men are really good teachers. They can give a message really well. They can telepathically send to their spouse a message. That's why a power couple, you have a sender and a receiver. And so my Sagittarius is my masculine sender, right? And this is I want you to tell me if this is right. So this is my sender. And then my ascendant is my water, which is my Cancer. And that's where I hold the baby. That's where I pick up on their energy and pick up on that and pick up on the message that was given. Oh, thank you so much. That's my baby, my friend. She's awesome. And she was actually there when I very first nursing job. I dreamed that my patient was going to die, and she did. And so, like, 6 months had passed, and I had went to sleep, and I saw her face come to me because I asked God, "Is she okay?" She came to me, and I woke up, and I said, I need to know if I'm going crazy. Like, I saw her. I was not asleep. I was awake. And then that's when I hadn't talked to Julie in forever. And she calls me and she said, "Hey, did you hear about her? She passed." And I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. So all of the, like, I fell in love with someone on Bumble, but never met him. And I dreamed he was going to die in 2 days, and he did.
Wow.
So,
Snap.
like, that's why I do what I do. But anyways, so we have the masculine Sagittarius sending out, and then my Cancer receiving the message, right, and mulling it over and stuff. And then my moon is the Taurus, which is grounding it. So I feel like a combination, you tell me if I'm wrong, is really good for manifesting. Like,
Law of
I
attraction, visualization, manifestation. And I love how you said the masculine is the giver output, and then the feminine is the receiving. I love how you explain that, because that right, because that definitely helped give me a visual. And that's another thing I appreciate about just Sagittarius in general. you're really giving us the visual of this goddess consciousness, you know? And everyone, I want you to see this episode, and everything that she's saying is Saturn in Virgo square Neptune in Sagittarius. Because Neptune, every one of you with Neptune in Sagittarius is clairvoyant visions and like prophetic dreams and dream creation. But it's not every day you meet a sun in Sagittarius that activates the awareness. It's like you have it at the ascended level, right? But Neptune and Sagittarius in and of itself is not a stable vibration because it shows you beyond, right? And I feel like you more than anyone are aware of that. As a Gemini, I can only have an idea of it, but Saturn in Virgo not only holds those visions accountable to reality. So it's like everything you see is aligned with what's real. And then you also have the moon in Taurus, so you can literally feel. And then I think you said you had a Capricorn, so you got that grand Earth trine, and you can literally. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. My bad. And then in the sixth house, you're literally creating the reality, which is amazing. Do you ever feel like? How do you feel the difference between? And I'm sure it's intent. I hate to answer that too, but how do you feel the difference between a dream that you dreamed or a dream that happened because you created it?
Okay, so this is what I do. So whenever you go into sleep, this is why we have our dreams, right? People will tell you that it's your subconscious. So we go around walking through the day, we pick up on the smells, we pick up on the feelings, we pick up on, like say you're driving down the road and you see a cat almost get hit, and then you hear something on the radio. So everything will open up like a computer, and all the little windows will pop up. However, what people don't realize is our energy field. So I don't know if you know who Aline McCusick is.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Aline McCusick is amazing, and I just found out about her because a while back I was using the dowsing rods. I don't use them now, but I was gifted them, so I used them, and I put them out, and it hit like metal in the air. I was like, what in the world? And so I was led to Aline McCusick, and she talks about how our energy fields. She was using the tuning forks, and she could feel when somebody with chakras were out of line, and she could like push it in. Well, she went out like 6 feet, and they were all that far out, and then she aligned the person, right, and so it would integrate, right. So we have all of that going on. I'm sorry, what was the rest of the question? You were telling me what was.
What was the question about what?
Yes. So we were talking about the energy fields, and we're picking up. You said, how do I tell the difference? So what I do is I go within.
Right. Yeah.
Get lost. I do have a. So what?
We're both Neptunians. We're just kind of like in our own zone. That's
So
amazing.
what happens is, so I found that I have to unwind through my day, and I have to command my mind, body, and soul. Because if I don't command my mind, body, and soul, I'll just go whatever. So when you go to sleep, your vehicle drives, right? But if you just drive and you don't know where you're going, you don't have a GPS, you're just going to go anywhere. So because your insecurities, your inabilities to act, your desires, your lust come out in your dreams, but
Mm.
the energy field that you're around. So say I was around somebody that was arguing, or say that I was around somebody that was super.
Oh yeah.
So
Right.
the energy, they have taken their plug and plugged it into me. So when I go to sleep, it's going to let me know. Like say someone, what I can't quite see. We love. Oh, say someone was lustful over you. There's a girl over there, and she's doing lustful things over you. You're going to dream, and you're going to know that she did. It's easier for females because they're receiving the energy, and it's easy to males to put out that energy to the female. You're like, he was jacking off to me, like, and then they'll call you, and you're like, okay, because you received that energy. But you have to, it's not a bad thing, but you have to just unplug the energy and say that's mine. So what I do is I go to sleep, I unplug, I get all the energy off. I don't always do it, and so when it comes out. But after I unplug and after I command my mind, body, and soul to remember, I command my whole body to remember, and I thank it. And then when I go to sleep, I notice that I'm asleep, and then I step outside my body. And
Mm.
so a real lucid dream, a lucid dream is just being aware that you're asleep, right? And then most people will go off and they'll have an orgy, or they'll fly, or they'll bake a cake or something, right? But instead of doing that, I want to see what's going on. So like, it's kind of like, say there was an accident. Do you want to be right here beside the car and see, or do you want to be in the helicopter and look at everybody around and say, okay, it was that person that did it.
Mm.
It was that. So I step outside the body and I just pay attention. I don't act or anything. I stay right there and I watch and I see what's going on. Now, when I want to create, I don't step outside the body. I recognize that I'm asleep, and then I will create right there. And I'll say, okay. And what I did was I saw myself sitting right here, and I saw you, and I saw my phone, and I saw my hair all did up, and I was talking to you, you know? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And then it helped me feel more confident because my friend agreed with me. And in the Bible, it does say, wherever two or more are gathered, God is there. But what I think is amazing is if you look at the word manna, like if you Google the etymology of that word, it's amazing. It's pervasive superpower or supernatural. Okay, God rained down manna. Then take that, manifest. Manifest says make clear to the eye. What's the eye? The pineal gland. Take your pineal gland, take your medulla oblongata, those together. And I actually had a dream about this. And it is the mouth of God. In my dream, I opened my mouth and water out because they were telling us that we weren't going to be able to get water anymore. They shut it off. And I said, all you got to do is open your mouth and water will come out. So we see these conspiracy theories. We see all this, division, male and female, division of race. We're one human race, like a cat or a dog. They're still animals. They still need to be fed. They still need to be loved and cared for. We have differences, but we are one. You know what I'm saying? And so if you vibe on that lack, if you vibe on, the elite are out to get us, we will agree with that and create it. And so if you want a good reality, you go in your dream and say, tomorrow is amazing. They're going to pick me for the job. They're going to like me, or whatever it is you want to create, and know that you will, and then you will.
So you're a whole superhero out here.
We
See,
all
I'm sorry. I might have to end this live. I think you're trying to get me in trouble by the Fed. Oh my god, I just got texted by the FBI. Oh no, yeah, you're trying to get me in trouble. I don't know. I know this is kind of funny, but like I'm probably gonna be more on a watch list now. So thanks. I know they got their eye on you for sure. But it is and I don't even like to talk like that. Like I don't really live I don't really live my life like looking over my shoulder. Like there are people watching me. Like I'll pretend they're hearing, but you know, I I can only imagine, how innovative and revolutionary too what it is you do and bring through, especially at your level of awareness. um
Well, I wasn't aware though before. The thing is, like, when I joined the army, like, I always have this idealistic view, like, ooh, I want to save the world. Ooh, I want everyone to be happy, right? And so when I remember joining the army and my very first march to the chow hall, we're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, shoot, kill, drive on. Well, and I go, oh my God, who was shooting and why are we killing them? you know, like, so
yeah.
it's been my way of understanding. Like, I went through a lot of trauma as a little girl, and I had reoccurring nightmares, and so many people do. Like, people who have been abused different ways, and people who are in war, they have PTSD, they have trauma from car accidents and things. And it wasn't until my husband at the time, had told me, why don't you just kill it? Because I didn't realize, because I told him my dream. I was 20 and I told him my dream, and he was like, oh, you were abused. And I was like, how do you know? And he was like, well, your dream said. And that's what sparked me to, to get to it. So I went in there. I don't kill anyone in my dream, but I did that day, and I won't anymore. But I figured out how to create and heal, like, because they say that there's fluidity with between past, present, and future, and it's all now. So I'm going back and I'm healing the little girl and creating peace there, you know.
So, do you feel like you can have a dream while awake? Do you have those experiences too, given that you've mastered dreams at this level?
Like meditation, or like ask a question and receive an answer, or
I'm not even sure. Someone had asked though, as far as the topic of dreaming while awake, is that something that happens or you've experienced?
so the only thing that I can in my mind that comes to that is like I'll daydream a lot. And what I realized is a lot of the chaos in my life, I caused it. So like
Right.
I would never go and hurt anyone or want to say anything mean unless it was in a reactionary mode. And now I realize, no reactionary thing. But in my head, I was like causing drama. I was like, I'm gonna go tell her this, I'm gonna tell her that, and and like, and I'm gonna hit her in the face, and just
Yeah.
chaos. And I realized that for decades I was causing that. I was making people feel negatively about me because I felt really bad about myself and I didn't have confidence. And it was amazing because you're the one that actually made me learn so much about myself in regards to my chart. You were talking about Chiron one
Right.
day. Well, I need to look up my Chiron. My Chiron is Taurus. And
Taurus. Yeah. Okay.
it feels
Oh,
like why is everybody always picking on me kind of thing, you know?
yeah.
And so yeah.
That's very deep, especially with your moon there. Um, yeah, that's really cool that you can like ground everything in this earth, but then see everything that you see. So it really does add so much practical means. This is really fascinating to me because I'm sure I have. Wait a minute. I think I just got this. Okay, no. Um, I know sometimes I'll have dreams. In fact, I've had a dream of this one woman who who's also a Sagittarius who we were quite romantic in the dream. It was innocent. It wasn't anything sexual, but I can only imagine if that might highlight a potential connection. Um, I mean, it can mean anything, but outside of that, like I've I've never really had a lucid dream because I wanted to have a lucid dream or dreams that I can remember. Is that something that I can develop through practice, or is you're either born with it or you're not?
We all have, like, it's beautiful because if you want to look at the Bible, it says that when we go to sleep, that's where he seals our instructions or whatever, whatever. I'm not a Christian, I believe in God, I love God, but I'm not bound by religion and in that prison anymore. But that's where we get our messages. That's where we realize, oh, okay, because I believe this whole life is a counseling session, right? And we're here
Mhm.
to grow. There's really no right or wrong. Like if you had good intent, like, and you accidentally stepped on a dog, like, you're not in trouble. That wasn't that wasn't on purpose, kind of thing. So the way we feel, like I said, I didn't realize what I would do. I would just jump into stuff, and then in my dreams, it would tell me, "Oh, okay, this," and okay, like it. What's awesome is to know that our energy field is there, know that people are plugging into us, and knowing that our hair holds trauma, our hair holds memory, our hair is our antenna, right? In the Bible or in different religions, they cover their hair, right? And they say don't braid your hair, kind of different kind of things. Well, it was a way to protect women, a way to protect people from envy and jealousy and that power. And so when you go to sleep, I didn't mean to go off that tangent, but
No, that was beautiful.
when you go to sleep, it doesn't start when you're asleep or when you wake up. It starts before you go to sleep. It starts with, like you said, intent. If you walk around the world and you're not smelling the smells and feeling the feel, and you're just going through, it's harder. So when you pay attention to how the wall feels, when you pay attention to how your feet feel in your shoes, how that smells when you walk into a room, when you start paying attention to those things and to the small things. And you know how little kids, they don't know when they have to go pee and they're like this, but they really don't realize they have to pee because they're not paying attention to their body, right? And so
Oh,
when you go to sleep, if you command your mind body, you get everything out and you say, okay, I did a video on TikTok. It's one of my pinned videos on there. If you get out your energy, like I like to get in the shower and get it out because the water helps me write a song almost every night, or create. Then after I do that, when you command your mind, body, and soul, and you know that you're in charge of your mind, you are in charge of your mind, nobody else, and you will have a dream because you said so, and then you will. And then when you wake up, if it was a lucid or not a lucid dream, what you do is you get your phone, you stay in the same position, and you don't move around. You don't think about brushing your teeth. You don't think about letting the dogs out, take them for a walk. You don't move. You keep your eyes closed, and you just say it in there and pay attention to it. It'll keep coming to you, keep coming to you. And then the more you pay attention to it, and then you can say, okay, because a snake doesn't always mean a snake. And walking in a house, people will say, oh, it was a house, but pay attention to all the details. What were the colors of the walls? Like, I could give you instances when I've done dreams when I've noticed that someone was cheating and there had nothing to do with actual sex. And then a lot of times the sex doesn't mean sex. The kissing doesn't mean kissing, you know? And like a snake doesn't always mean a snake in the grass or an evil friend or something like that. I translated a dream for a friend of mine, and her son had swallowed a snake. And then there was a bull, and he had left the gate open, and he went in there anyways. And I said, so, and he was 8 years old. I said, so is your son watching gay porn? And she was like, yeah. And she was like, how did you know? Are you psychic? I'm like, I'm not psychic. Your dream says it. So you can pay
wow.
attention to different details. And it's not just, oh, you were in your head and you feel powerful. You can break it down and
Mhm.
decide if it's a dream or not. And you don't need me. You don't need anybody else. You only need.
Wow. That's profound. Um, there's a lot I would like to even expand on that because I've always wanted to know about like dream signs or interpreting dreams, but
Mhm.
like, I've just never really I definitely love to expand on that with you in future installments. But one thing that I've really gotten close to, but and I like what you said before, because when I have these dream experiences, I've noticed it's usually when I wake up.
Yes,
It's
the theta state. It's
so that's what it is. It's like after I wake up and then I go back to sleep.
and
It's
that's set your alarm to make yourself wake up. I didn't mean to cut you off,
no,
but
thank you, thank you,
I
thank you. Yeah, it's
did
cool.
a while back.
And
Yes, if you're a person who like me, I have like 50 snoozes because I don't want to go to work,
right, yeah, yeah.
and that's when I have the most dreams. And so my nap time. Like if I take a nap around 2 o'clock, those almost always are my actual future dreams. And then in the times as well.
Okay, that's awesome. I
But like, you can use once you get good at lucid dreaming, say you have a court date or say you have something and you can actually go there and talk to them and explain to them and let them hear your side. Like I will tell you that I did one thing besides, kill the person in my dream, that I feel like was wrong. One thing that I did was I snooped on my ex-husband because I was like, I want to know why he thinks, why they're so happy and why is it always so good over there. So I went over and I actually saw that she was going to cheat on him 3 times, and I saw that she was pregnant. And I saw she was pregnant. You can see that, and she wasn't pregnant in the dream. She was just rocking a chair and she was looking out the window. Wanted to leave, and she looked at me and she said, I can't do what you did. So like you can, but you have to decide what your ethics are. Everybody lives by different rules.
You just confirmed to me that Cancer will always get the tea, but you Sagittarius dream explored it like, oh wow. Wow, this is y'all really are the best zodiac sign. I'm so jealous. This whole peace talk, I've been jealous AF, but I don't want to hate. I don't want to. I love it. This is one of my favorite peace talks already. One I,
I'm
I would say, oh, and I'm honored that you've joined this too. once again, like, let me know what you feel about this, because um I feel like this is
You want?
like I'll get to this on accident once again. Like maybe when I wake up and go to sleep, um, it's that theta hypnagogic state, in between sleep and a state. But please let me know what you think, because sometimes I'll think that I'm awake, and then I'll hear stuff like it's right there, and then I wake up and there's nothing around me, and I go back. It's like there's something right there, but I'll feel it like it's right there. I'll hear it like it's right there. And then my mind doesn't know that I'm asleep. So then I trick myself and wake up. So like I feel like I can break through, but like, is there an advice you have if someone's in that spot? I don't think I've ever gone consciously beyond that spot. But yeah.
So is the advice that you want is how to wake up, or the advice to go into the lucid dream?
To go into the lucid dream, if I can even do that.
So if you're right now, if you close your eyes, and if your ring camera wasn't here, or if you were somewhere else and you closed your eyes, can you say, okay, see an ice cream cone? I want to see a dog. I want to see a cat. Can you do that?
In my mind's eye?
Mm-hmm. Can you and see it?
Vaguely, yeah. It's not.
Good.
Yeah, it's not like in full color, but I can like see.
Good. Practice seeing that. So when I want to go to sleep, so some people are amazing at calming their mind and everything, and um, getting into the meditative state. But what I do is, to get into the meditative state, first, like I said, you're going to tell yourself that you're going to remember your dream. You're going to tell yourself that you're going to fly, whatever it is you want. Say you want to start something small and you just want to fly. Has his dreams, orders, fun and crazy connected. I don't have my glasses, so it's hard for me to see.
It's all good. It's all good.
So you go in with intent and you decide what you're going to do. But during the daytime, start practicing seeing stuff. And then when I want to go to sleep and I want to go fast, like, because here I don't like to go to work, and then I don't like to go to sleep. So I'll give myself like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. So I need to go to sleep fast. I don't want to be just sitting there laying around, right? So what I do is I make myself see swirls, or maybe I'll see raindrops. I'll close my eyes and see whatever I see, and I'll take it and I'll say, okay, now I want to go down in a tunnel. Okay, now I want to be swimming in. Now I want to see red, or I want to see green. Whatever, you just pick whatever color you want to see, and you start controlling it like that. And then you flow with it, flow with it, flow with it. And then when you're asleep, and then you will, and then just practice it. If you know you will, and you command your mind, body, and soul, and you tell yourself you will, and you're in charge of your mind, then you will. Like, you're either in charge of it, do you believe it or not? And
No, I feel like you're an ascended goddess, and if I did this, the spirit would just laugh at me like, ha ha ha, like you don't have the dream powers like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely gonna try. I love that.
will. I believe in you. Listen,
I feel
you,
like practicing visualization for sure. I'll definitely do. I don't
yeah,
know.
it will help you if you like I said, just sit there and say, okay, I want to see a blue pumpkin. Okay, I want to see this. And then, so what you're doing, because I'm a very visual person, when somebody says the word microphone, like, I see the word, I see a microphone, even when my eyes are open. Like, are you like that?
No, I just see like,
Well, you're air, so you're great with words, though.
I just, yeah, exactly. And I appreciate this because I feel like this is how like certain people have like elements that other people don't have. Because when I close my eyes, it's just a black screen of death, and like
Oh,
it
really?
takes work to visualize it. But I think I do. I'm not accustomed to, because I just think about everything. So I think I could really see it, but it's not like, I really appreciate that. It definitely lets me know I can like, first of all, it lets me know what I have to develop, and it helps me see more what you have as a gift. And it's not necessarily that we can't do it, but
Right.
like, you know, and I think you also awaken that potential in other people, right? In the way that you're also expressing this. But I'm just open minded, because I didn't even know the concept that you can someone once told me, shout out to Sheesh the Beast, that I don't visualize enough as I can. And so I'm going to take from this peace talk to just practice seeing things, because it's not like I don't see things. I think it's just something I don't really develop, because I like to be more claircognizant, or just like think.
But what you so I only have like one thing of air in my chart. You because words are so important. That's why I said be impeccable with your words, because our words are so powerful and they create. And because you're fire, you're Aries, you have so much doggone energy. You're freaking, you can create. So you have your word and you're speaking it into existence, and you have that fire with that force with it. All you got to do is say, oh, all right, I believe it, number one, and then number two, just see it. So you,
Okay, right.
because people who don't have any fire, like they don't have enough gumption, they don't have enough force. Like I love like Aries people, like they are so powerful in my opinion. Like they're
Yeah, they definitely are. Thank you. That's definitely a great way to perceive it. And this, I always get giddy. I always get excited. I always get like, I always interrupt when I talk to Sagittarius, is because y'all really help bring magic alive with and for us. And the inner child in me is just always happy about that. Um, and Jeremiah, I'm actually a Gemini, but she was referencing my Mars and Aries.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to say that. I meant yes.
No, you weren't wrong too, because I mean it is a part of me for sure. And yeah, the master key system, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Flex those mental muscles. You really have helped me open up a whole new window and doorway into this, because in really exploring this field, I feel like I turned a blind eye to my psychic abilities and dreams and visualizations, and pursued a much more intellectual, like scientific side. I do believe in all these things, but seeing people like you share your stories and gifts helps bring this alive for me in a way that makes me want to explore it again, like a child too, and really rediscover it. And I really do thank you for that. That's
Well,
really
I thank you. I think you're amazing, and I'm sorry I interrupted you. The
no.
thing is, people say knowledge, and they say, "Oh, it's in a book," but it's just a man, mostly a man, sometimes a woman, and it's from that perspective. But if your true knowledge, if you're living a life that's completely different from someone else, you need to know from you, right, and to go within. And I feel, I mean, I think that's because I have so much water, earth in my chart, and this is the reason why I argue and don't get along with Aquarius. The only sign that I don't really get along with is Aquarius moon and Aquarius sun. If they don't have like good water in their heart, it's hard for me, because they don't understand that a feeling and your energy field is a fact. And they don't
Is a
they,
fact.
yes.
Yeah, you can't get them to accept that. They'll
No,
never
because
acknowledge it. Yeah.
the book said this and the book said, okay, well, do you accept if that this frying pan, can float if I see it? Like they won't even believe it if they see it. And then and then if you're right, it's because they let you be right. And that's hard for me because I'm
Because
Sagittarius.
they're actually the energy of the supernatural too. It's like if they were able to get over that, they can do it like that, which is amazing. I think you just brought up something very fascinating, because I I wouldn't expect you to experience it like that, but you really just put that perfectly into words. That clash for sure.
Like I love them and I respect them and they're brilliant leaders. Like they're awesome, but they don't let me have the freedom because my North Node is in Virgo, and so who I am is I really want to give back and help, and so I don't care if I have $100. I'm like, here you go. Like money doesn't matter to me, and like if they're close to you, they don't want you to give to other people, and they want you to work within the family. I'm like, no, I'm here to help everybody, not just my family.
Oh my gosh, I have chills right now because Shout out my good friend Michael. I don't even think he's in the chat, but he told me a story about a Virgo and her aqua father, and everything you said about that literally just was like that. Like the Virgo friend wanted to work more with the family, but the aqua wanted to keep it within the family. Not to even say that that's like all Aquarians, but because everyone has their perspectives, but it's really amazing. I'm really so grateful for you, especially
Oh,
having this conversation too. I'm definitely gonna plan to uh invite you back on the channel and see if we can explore more like dream techniques or just talking about whatever else, because there's definitely I can definitely see so much more innovation um coming into a whole collective awakening of this. I think this knowledge of dreaming and understanding dreams is reaching a new level with the children that are being born.
oh yeah.
And yeah, you know, it's very amazing. Let's actually in conclusion play the three questions game. I haven't played this in a minute, but we can take turns asking each other's questions. And you can actually start. So you can ask me a question, I'll answer, and then I'll ask you a question. And then we'll go back and forth two more rounds. And yeah.
Okay, let me think. If you could change anything, like you have the power to do anything in the world, like for you or anyone, anything that you like beyond the way it is now, any power to change one thing in the earth, what would you do
On this planet,
on only this planet?
if I had one wish to change anything on this planet, that's such a good question. I would wish that everyone I would wish for like a collective awakening and reset and reboot that like brought out everyone's greatest self. And
Ooh,
then we would have to deal with our issues at the peak of our ability. That
I
would be my wish.
I love that. That's an awesome answer.
Thank you. It just came to me. For those of you who watch this video from scratch, um when you see me just looking frazzled, I want you to imagine like you wanted to take a cough, but you try your best not to cough. That's why I was looking like that earlier. I had what do you call those? Uh uh Vape, and I didn't want to cough, and I committed to that. So I just wanted to share that. I didn't even have to say that. I just wanted to say that though. And by the way, I didn't even realize. I think you just I think you just granted my wish right now. I forgot you have wish granting powers. Let me not call you out like that, but that's very amazing. Um I'm not gonna I was gonna I think ask. Okay, I'll definitely take this too. Divine Highness sent you and shit. No, I had this earlier. That's why. But my bad. I'm definitely all over the place. So my question for you is because there was okay. I'm gonna let that go. My question for you is, what do you feel as far as now that we're at the end of age and we're unveiling into this new world? What does that look like for you?
Mm. So I try not to let myself look at the negative and look at the hurt and look at the pain, because I know that whenever we're walking around creating on the low or the high all day long, we're creating. So I don't like to think about it because I used to, and I used to, cause like I used to be a prepper. I used to be like, okay, if something happens, I'll go to this place, do this kind of thing. I really feel like you said, so many people are waking up to how powerful and how beautiful we are, and we are together and connecting. And so I just try to see, I know this sounds so silly and so like rainbows and butterflies, but I really do try to picture seeing you when you say find your vibe tribe or find your tribe or whatever. And I really feel like it's happening. I really feel like those people who have felt pain all their life and felt, and they are actually being healed. They're being called to find the people that can show them love and show them that they're not alone and that they're not ugly and that they're not, and so when I see the end of the world, I really see love prevailing. I really do. I really do. Like,
Love
even
for what?
love prevailing, like
Oh,
even
okay.
zombie,
Nice.
even if it's a zombie apocalypse, like I'm not live in fear. Like, okay, well, this is what we're doing today. Boop, like you can't.
I love that. Either zombies are like, "Ooh, what's up?" Ooh, ooh. Or you just got your archer like, "I shoot you in love." I can totally see that.
I see you on the other side.
No, I can totally see you commanding zombies, and they'll just like make a way for you, and then you just cross them over to the other side, like you just said. That's amazing. You know what? This was what I wanted to mention before too. Um, that I forgot. It was in tandem with, oh, I don't even remember the other one, but I felt my third eye either being worked on, or like, I guess talk of visualization must have been stimulating that. But I just wanted to share that. I thought that was awesome.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Very appreciated. Um, so we are on round two, and you can ask anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you could, this is a cliche. This is one everyone asks, though. But if you could go back in time and let's see, and change one event in any of all history, what would it be?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Like from the very beginning of creation to now, or maybe in just a new off.
No, that's a really good question. I would say I would wish that. Ooh, okay. How do I say this? I'm gonna say it like this. I would go back in time, and I would. What is their name? I would go back in time and make sure I would meet Daniel Hernandez, and I would make sure that he never became 6'9" and never had a career. And I would tell him that he would become a rainbow colored hair rat and destroy. No, I'm just joking. That was horrible. I don't know why. This is such a good question because there's so much I can say. If I can go back in time, I I would I would go back to Adam and Eve. So that Eve and Adam wouldn't have eaten the apple. We're like, don't mess it up for humanity. I know that's just a story, my man. But I wanted to say I would go back to the Arabic slave trade and circumvent any of the slave trades or colonization occurring to set off the chain of Catholicism and all that too. If I can kind of see, that's such a good question. Like there's so many things that could change. I feel like one would be one like if I did that, that might be too far. I could go back to like I can even go back to uh
Tartaria.
I would go back to Osiris overcoming Set's plot to chop him up. And not let that happen. But yeah, to answer your question, if I can go back and change anything, I really wouldn't change anything. If that's an answer. But if I did have to change anything, I would go back to the very beginning and just change any variable from the very beginning. I just hate that doesn't. It's not like a real answer that really answers it. Like if I could just do one thing, but yeah, or maybe make it so that Nipsey Hussle didn't die. I don't know, but I kind of gave a few answers here and there. But yeah. Personally, the right answer is I wouldn't change anything because that means I wouldn't be here right now. But if it was consequence free, I would convince Lucifer to not have fallen. I'm just joking. Some things are inevitable, so I don't know. It is what it is. I just don't. Yeah, that's such a phenomenal question, though. I was gonna say I would make sure Bill Gates or Fauci wasn't born, but I don't want to. I don't really mean that. Before this gets struck, I love both those people. Thank those men for saving our lives.
Wish he was.
Oh wow. I need to really think about that, to be honest. Because I wonder a lot about time and history and all of that. But yeah.
I would make sure that we didn't go through the veil of forgetfulness when we come here, so that it was never made. So when we come here, we remember all our past lives.
Exactly. So that means at some point there was not just some glitch. Rosalinda, welcome to the $1 billion Vibe Tribe. But if anything, there probably was some like distortion. So yeah, I think that's why it's hard for me to answer my question, because wherever that was, exactly. Okay, I'll come back next week and I'll answer the question. Uh, but yeah, I mean, that leads me to my question for you. Um, you know, people are supposed to remember their past lives. So, what do you feel like the average day would be if people had natural access to their dream abilities and memories? What's that like?
So I don't have access to. Some people do. They know all their past lives. I don't. I actually had one dream. Someone back in 1891, and I actually went there in San Diego and touched the stone. I told my friend, I was like, "There's three big old black juddy rocks out there," and she's like, "I'm from San Diego." No, they're not. I'm like, "Yes, there is." And I went and I found some. And I had never been to San Diego because I dreamed that about this girl. She was going to kill herself, and I stopped. Like I went in the body because I thought it was me. I was like, I'm not sad. So, anyways, I feel like we would definitely get while we're here. We would learn the lessons. I feel like that we would see, okay, this is wrong. I should have chosen love. What does love feel like? How can I give love? I really feel like, but knowing that we're human, we might be, you know what, F it, because I'm gonna just come back again, right? Like if you know that you're just gonna die again, we might just go around doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Especially once you break through that freedom and it's like, okay, you're not really bound by time. I can only imagine um how that really goes through. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much for the concepts that you've really brought towards us. And I think that's definitely going to break through into more of a plot. But we do have one more round of questions.
Oh my goodness.
The final round.
Okay. What can I talk about? Mm, I don't know. Let me see. Oh, okay, I got one. So, what could if you could be the perfect, like you could decide what planets, what everything is in everything, your sun, your moon, rising, what would they be?
Like my dream chart.
Hmm.
That okay, I see. I hate to say this because this is so cliche. I hate to sound like the most narcissistic man alive, but
It's yours already, right?
yeah, no, because like I've read so much charts and how like amazing and intricate everyone's chart has to be, like down to the minute for them to be who they are. Like now I've realized I wouldn't change. That's why I said I wouldn't even change anything. Like I wouldn't change anything about my chart because like there's just certain degrees at the minute it's been born that can't be like anywhere else, and I feel like everyone has that. Like just like how I can feel that about me, everyone has it. They can feel that about themselves. And there was a time where I wish, you know, I could be like a Libra or a
Yeah.
Sagittarius and like have that awareness. I feel like if I had my son in Libra, I would be like Nick Cannon and have like 10 kids. But thankfully I don't, and I'm introverted, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying. So it's in learning why I love, like I can look at Sagittarius and be like they're so amazing, and that has helped me embrace more of what I have, like seeing how talented Libra is or seeing how divine and magical Pisces is helps me embrace and appreciate how basic I can be and simple I can be. And it's helped me come back around and really kind of embrace the wholeness and oneness and how we all have something. I just hate how cliche that sounds because it's a really good question. But yeah,
You're not basic. You're hilarious and funny for everyone. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
super basic. It's my running gag. And I say that with a little bit of pride. But like, thank you. I really appreciate you. I know
Mm.
you hear me that. I know you're serious.
Good question while we're on here because I don't, I don't know the answer to it. Do you is Let me ask you if you say yes first.
Do I what? Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't want to just be like, hold on, let me ask you a question. So do you feel like certain different times during the year we are, so like for me, I will see like everyone that will try to holler at me will be a Scorpio, or like everyone will try to be a Capricorn. I'm like, and it's always during like certain parts of the year. Is there a reason for that? Is it?
Um
You think it's just because like that's what our chart is working on, trying to get along with that sign, or?
That's a phenomenal question that I want to conduct case studies for. That's something that if there were enough sample size of people, we can answer that question, because I think there is something to it. You know, the only thing is there's so many variables. It could be a moon transit you're going through. It could be a progressed moon transit you're going through. It could just be a phase you're going through. It could be a dasha year. So it's such a good question because I noticed that to a degree too. Like after I kind of like move past the lesson, the quality or type of people who I attract or are attracting people's life also kind of, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting, and it would be interesting to know what isolates that. Like, is it could be, I think it's a combination of a lot of things too, bearing in your archetype as well. If maybe you just attract a certain type of people or during a period. My final question for you is, if you're in a classroom of like 5-year-olds, what what's one red pill you would give them? Like what's something you would say if you had to like break them out the matrix?
I think I would just reinforce all day, every day that they are the power, that they don't need to get an answer from an adult on everything. Like that they have the power within them and show them, oh my God, you didn't need my help. Look how strong you are. Look how smart you are. Look how beautiful you are. Look how powerful you are. You thought about that and then it happened. Like tell them to like So why are you feeling this way? You're feeling this way, okay? Do you know what our feelings can create? So if you want to be happy, what makes you happy? Let's do what makes you happy. If you want to give love to somebody, like, why do you want to give them love? Like, I guess it would be to figure out why they're doing what they're doing. Like, so are you giving love because you feel like you don't have love? Or are you trying to be helpful just because you want to be accepted? Kind of. So, like, why are you doing what you're doing? I guess would be the thing.
That's beautiful. So they center it more into who they are and not who they're supposed to be. That's so beautiful.
Because we're in cages. We walk around. I'm 42 years old. It took until I was like, not that long ago, to like, and I still have cages that I have to break through because we're supposed to be like everyone tells us.
I feel you on that. That's so true. Thank you so much again for joining us. I do have your links in the description box below. How can people reach you, and do you offer any services?
I'm actually, because with the whole seven hermetic principles, a lot of people are wanting me to read for them, but I work full time as a nurse, and so it's getting hard to do everything for free all the time. So I'm actually praying about it and asking, because I do know that I'm here to give to help, but again, my time is a lot. So but if you have a recurring dream and that you really feel like it needs to be read, you can contact me on IG. Or my friend is amazing. He created my website today. And then I'm on TikTok as well, Dreaming with Tess and Dreaming with Tess on IG. You can just message me
That's
until I
so,
figure out what I'm going to do next.
that's so awesome. Yeah. Um, Thank you again, because it's interesting when I think about what caused me to just mention that on live that we're gonna have this. I really feel that's pretty magical, in that you manifest, or we're able to co-create this. So thank you once again. I feel like I'm very biased, but I feel like the Sagittarius Gemini opposition is one of the best. So it really allows the perspective to complete. um Y'all stay blessed as always. Thank you very much for joining us. Tessa, you stay blessed as always yourself. And I look forward to having more conversations with you.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Peace out.